Okay, so I'm gonna give this a try here. We're gonna tear it apart and see what happens. Brand new, works. You see it? It spins like it's supposed to. I don't have any darts to try it out, so I'm just gonna take it apart and see how hard it is. From what I can tell, there are several screws. Don't know what I'm getting into because this is the first time I've ever done this. So we will just see how it goes. Okay, well, first one doesn't want to come out. We'll get it out later. I'll use my finger. There's a different size, so we'll keep them separated. Awesome. So we've got one small and 5 bigs so far. Let's see about these. I had to guess these are all the same size as those 5. Okay, that one's loose. Believe won't go any farther, so hopefully it'll come out when we do the rest. Looks like we got 2 more. So I did look this up to see what it was worth. I picked it up at a Goodwill bins in Jacksonville, Illinois. Just happened to see it, tried it out. Trigger worked, pull worked. And after looking up the value, new is still out there. It's selling, but not for much. And this being used with no darts, out of the box, probably worth about what I paid for it, which is about 49 cents. So, there we go. Last 2 are out. Okay, just double checking here to see. Looks like I've got them all out. So here comes the big reveal. I've never looked inside of one of these before, so let's see what we got. Clasp there. We got that one open. Looks like maybe this is holding it on. So let's see if we can help it here a little bit. No, it didn't work. Took the tool apart. Let me see down inside. I can see parts of it, but as you can tell from this is a separate piece. There we go. and it latches in there. Awesome, came off very easy. You can see the tabs. Okay, so now we pull this off, and now we have the full-blown mechanism inside, and we can see it. So it looks like I didn't have to take these screws out after all, but we get the idea of how it works here. And as this pulls back, that's how it cocks it, and then the cock itself is released with the trigger as it brings it down. You notice too, it's kind of shiny in here. It's got some grease in it. And since it works, I don't want to mess with it too much. I just want to see how everything else works in here. So that's pretty awesome, really, when you think about it. So the inside here, you know, your trigger. This is your catch mechanism. This is your pin that you pull back. This is spring loaded in here, which gives you what you need, the compression to shoot these out. And as you can see, it's shot out with air because it doesn't actually strike the Nerf bullet. It's actually pushing it out with a hard blast of air. So this is actually a little compression unit. And I don't know if you can see in there or not, but there's actually a rubber gasket right here to help seal it. So once it's fully cocked, it seals the air, pull the trigger, fires it out. That's pretty awesome. So now, off on the project itself. The concept here was to tear it apart so that we could actually rebuild this in another way and customize it. And in taking it apart, it appears that this comes off like so, without much trouble. And now you can see that it has a combination of the ring as well as this here. So if you're losing compression on any of these that you own, you could theoretically rebuild them without much trouble. I'll keep this together so that we don't lose anything there. And then the next piece is all of this, which is attached with these two here. Taking these off, we also have a spring mechanism in here that we're going to have to pull off as well, which is why I have this little guy, so that we can reach in. First, let's separate them here. And let's pull that off of there. Okay, and it's important you don't stretch it out because that spring has to keep its tension, otherwise it won't work afterwards. So now we take these out. I only see the two screws. Helps if I have the right head on here. And there's one. Okay, and here is number 2. Okay, so let's see if this all lifts. Okay, well that came off like so. This came out like so. And then we have the remainder here, which of course we knew that would happen. That slides out. And we have your trigger mechanism. That trigger mechanism obviously has a spring on the inside. But with it taken apart, we could, in theory, change the trigger. So let's see what we got made of in here. Maybe there's another piece that is constructed here and attached on the inside. Okay, there we go. It's coming apart now. Yep, that's kind of what I thought. We've got springs on the inside with these as well. So there we go. And these are also clipped in. So we'll switch this back. And we will unclip it. Maybe I can just do that with my finger. No, better use a piece of metal to Better pry it. There we go. That comes off. Let's see if I can do it with this here too. Same way. Yeah, it's just a push. No prying involved. So there we have it. Let's pull our pieces together here. There's the butt. This is the framework for the trigger and the butt to attach to, as you can see. Our outside, which is, fairly bright. I think that's going to have to change. And then we've got our mechanism pieces that all go together like so. So we have to make sure we keep it all in line when we put it back together. Of course, this is all molded, so it only goes back together one way. And I've got the video to go by to rebuild it. Along with these, we have our springs, which we will pull those off, and the spring here. Okay, we're going to stop for 1 second while I do a little bit of cleanup.